Hey internet, so we're going to talk about why the success of Wuthering Waves is actually good for the Genshin Impact community. I say community and not the company itself. So sadly I did not get into the beta test 2, and we can talk about the beta test 2 a little bit. Okay, so first of all, Wuthering Waves is the only competitor to Genshin Impact in terms of category. So it is an open world action RPG gacha game. So it is the similar or same category as Genshin Impact. Now, in terms of success, I think they will do well. However, now this is where we get into the beta test. So, looking at the streamers and content creators' streams, there's been overwhelmingly positive feedback. However, there are some issues. So, I think it's unanimous that the visuals, the combat, and the story, well, story's subjective, but the combat and visuals is really good. So there's no debate there. I think it is like subjective for the story because some content creators say it's great, some content creators it's still needs work. Now, in terms of the areas where the content creators weren't happy was the bugs. So there was definitely some both minor and major bugs. Some that are game breaking and some are minor that are like just clipping through like the environment. So clipping through the ground or clipping through trees. That's not a big deal. That's more like a graphical issue. So like, say for example, it would clip through like the tree like that. Now, that's not a big one, but the game breaking ones where like you just get stuck and there's no way to like get out of it. You can't teleport, you can't do anything. You're just stuck in a rock or you're stuck somewhere. So those ones, those are game breaking, and I hope they address those issues for Wuthering Waves. While they said that closed beta test 2 is their final one, I feel like they may need a third closed beta test. So just because since there are some major bugs, having a third closed beta test would be good just to iron out those issues. Now, I think like it's not us or them issue. I know that there are some minor toxic communities on both sides, and like I said, you can play both games. You don't have to pick a side. So this whole tribalism of like Genshin Impact versus Wuthering Waves, it doesn't matter. Like, you can play both games if you're on PC or on console. Like, if you're on mobile, yeah, okay, there may be a little bit of tribalism because your phone only can hold so much. But even then, I would say like probably just pick like your most favorite one on your phone and then just play the other one on PC. I mean, if you're gonna play both games, I would probably just play it on a bigger screen anyways. Now, in terms of success, I think as long as they patch the bugs, it will be... let me get this out of the way first. It's not a Genshin killer. Far from it. It will do something different. I think it will cater to a niche where you want to have like a more in-depth combat. So definitely more advanced than Genshin Impact's combat system. In terms of bosses, it's harder than Genshin Impact. So I would say it's like a casual plus. It's not like so hard that it's a Souls game, but it's definitely harder than Genshin Impact in terms of combat. And that's okay. I think that's the niche that Wuthering Waves is catering to. Now, I think another drawback, I've had a few comments from viewers that I made a spec video for Wuthering Waves. The specs is a little bit high, but given that they are using Unreal Engine 4, I think. So the specs are going to be high because the video rendering is going to be high. And that may scare some casual players off as well, because if your phone can't handle it, you probably can't play it. In terms of PC and console, that doesn't matter because you should probably be able to run Wuthering Waves on PC, assuming that you've got the minimum specs, which isn't a lot. 16 gig RAM and like an i7, so Intel i7, so it's not that bad, and it's like a 3000 series or like 2000 series minimum, so that's for an NVIDIA graphics card. So I don't think like 2000 series is that high of a spec requirement. I would say 3000 series is probably pushing it, but I think their optimization will be good enough that I guess players with lower spec PCs or mobiles can probably run it. That may be an issue, but we'll find out. The specs for Punishing Grey Raven, they've optimized it so well that potato phones can run it, so I think they'll do the same for Wuthering Waves. In terms of like, what else can we cover? I think a lot of Genshin Impact players will definitely try it. And of course, when Genshin Impact tries a new game, and well, first of all, like the company for Genshin Impact will see this, and we've talked about how competition breeds innovation. So when they see players drop Genshin Impact and like just play Wuthering Waves, whether temporarily or permanently, they will definitely be forced to change, and I think that's a good thing. Like forcing to change and like adapting to the competitor, which is Wuthering Waves, is going to be good. Definitely not a downside to that. So the Genshin Impact community will be better for it. In terms of the company, well, they're making like tens of billions. They're fine. Genshin Impact is not gonna be end of service. They're gonna finish the storyline, and they're gonna milk like players for all they're worth after that. So like, don't worry about Genshin Impact. It's here to stay forever. Well, forever is a long time, but I think a good 10 years or so. I think what Wuthering Waves will bring to the table is, we've talked about combat, and exploration is the same, but I think the puzzles, I haven't talked about that. So from what I've seen from the streamers, like the puzzles are a little bit more complex, so it does require a little bit of thinking, which is fun. Solving puzzles that are actually tricky is a good thing. Also, it's good content for me when the game releases. I can make some how-to videos. Now, another point that I want to talk about on how and if Wuthering Waves will be successful is that the UI, or like maybe UX, the user experience, is similar or familiar in a way that Genshin Impact players will know, so it won't feel too alien. Like I guess the graphic user interface, the GUI, so like the setup is very familiar to Genshin Impact players. Like the menus, all that stuff, they look similar. Now, it's more Punishing Grey Raven style rather than fully Genshin Impact, but like things are very similar in terms of the graphic user interface. So the user experience is like basically you can hop into the game, and if you're a Genshin Impact player, you kind of just know what's going on, like just because you've been conditioned to Genshin Impact. Now, I think that's a good thing, allowing both casuals and like new players from other games to have a sense of familiarity. I think like there's definitely a lot to learn in that game. There's a lot of game mechanics. So there's more than just dodge. So there's dodge, there's perfect dodge, there is counter attack, there's parry, and then you've got your inter ultimates. So you got your ultimate, and then you got your switching ultimate. So I wish I had footage for this, man. But hopefully if they do a beta test 3, which I hope they will, because they gotta iron out those bugs. Like, I hope I can get into that one and show you all the stuff. So where was I going with this? So yeah, it's gonna be a similar experience. It'll be different, it'll be new for Genshin Impact players at least. Alright, so what is the bottom line? Well, we hope that Wuthering Waves will succeed. This will be a good driver for the Genshin Impact team to innovate and like see what the competition's doing and do it better, and hopefully add some of the quality of life changes that we've been asking for years. And yeah, I mean, hopefully Wuthering Waves does really well, and hope it'll be like a fun and enjoyable experience. So remember, you don't need to be like this tribal mentality. You can play both games. Like, there's no reason that you can't play both games unless you're on mobile, in which case it's okay. Just pick one game to play on mobile and then play the other game on PC or console. Alright, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, ring the bell, turn on all notifications. Leave a comment below. What do you think? Is the success of Wuthering Waves, do you think it will help the Genshin Impact community? Is it a win? Or do you think the opposite is true? Alright, become a member if you want to. Drop a super thanks if you want to. Until next time, See ya.